G'day fellas. Welcome to the fourth game in the series between Aizamk and Mitoe. For anybody unfamiliar with how this series works, this is the blind civilization matchup where we've got two players up against each other, fighting it out for $200, and the winner gets to keep all that money and the bragging rights to winning the blind civ pick. So each player is going to walk into this map. They're going to know the map, but they're not going to know what civ their opponent is playing. So they get to make a choice based on the map of what civ they want to play. We see A's spawning in on the east of the map. Sorry, I apologize. We see Mitoe spawning in on the east of the map, playing the Chinese, and his opponent, A's, spawning in on the west of the map, playing the Inca. Inca going to be opening us up with a 4-villager big button start from the Cancha house. Already macroing towards that. He's got a lot of coin. This is a really, really nice map for Inca. A wonderful civs choice on this map. So for anybody wondering why this is such a great civ choice on this map, it's because you start with an extra 100 coin. There's 100 coin that just spawns north of your town center all the time on this map. And you can then use that 100 coin immediately because you're going to need that 100 coin in the early game. So you can see here he's going to stop at 180. Well, he should stop at 180. There we go, 184. And now he's going to be using the big button from the Cancha house. You can't actually see it, but it costs 180 food, 180 coin, and 180 wood. There it is, coming in now at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Normally this big button would be coming in at about 1 minute and 40, 1 minute and 50 seconds because you'd have to mine all of this coin out. But now arriving, let me see if I can just turn it up and turn it down. There we go. Now the speed is looking a bit better. We've got a villager coming out. Ace, what are you doing with this villager? Ace is like, you know what? We need to find more of those cows. I'm just going to send a villager out here. And the cows now cows are in an awkward spot here. He's got to be careful. If Mitoe comes in and comes through, he could definitely take that out. But Mitoe now on the backside. Let's do a little bit of a cow comparison. We've got 6 yaks compared to the opponent. So A's now sitting on 5 yaks, so about even. So let's talk about the matchup. China on this map feels a little bit good. It's wonderful playing China on a map that's got livestock. A's... Mitoe dropping down a village, but for whatever reason, forgetting to... Or maybe, like, shift-clicking it? Is there a villager here that was meant to build this? This isn't good. He's got northern refugees on the way, now only just realizing that it's coming through. Dropping down a third village. A huge amount of villagers getting dropped down now. I suspect he's probably going to be using multiple villagers to build this. He is indeed, because these are coming down really late. This is a 4-villager shipment that he's doing right now. So not only does he have a fat stack of yaks, he's got 4 villagers that are about to come in. And when I say villagers, I'm not talking about villagers, I'm talking about villagers. Here they come, 3, 2, 1, boom! 4 villagers coming in for Mitoe. Really, really nice to see. He's up to 15 villagers. We've got his opponent, Aizamk, spawning on the west of the map with 15 villagers as well. Now dropping down a second Cancha house. Let's take a look at their decks, do a bit of an inspection. His deck is called Beginner. And A's, if you're familiar with his play style, you might think he is a bit of a beginner, but I assure you, this is all rehearsed. It is very well done. A little bit of... I like the unit shipments he's got in here. This is potential fast industrial that we're seeing. 16 bolus warriors. That's a lot of bolus warriors. We've got the 2 town centers in here. We've got the cloud fortresses, and we've got native treaties. Inca are famous for their native rushes, especially on this map. This map in particular, a really good map for Inca because of the native temple. So the Shaolin temple spawns right here in the middle, really close to your opponent's base. Look at that. Basically, you know, a screen away from your opponent's base. The radius for the town center build limit is probably like to right here. So, you know, you can actually build a tambo right here. You can drop down a war hut. You can go take another native trading post, the Sufi mosque back here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've got a native rush on our hands right now. We're going up with the chief, definitely macroing towards that 250 wood. And look at that naughty explorer. You know it's coming. So now we've got Mitoe on the other foot, going up with the summer palace, as I did discuss in the earlier Chinese game that we had where Aizamk played Chinese. The Summer Palace is probably the option 99% of the time. His Explorer is positioned in the north of the map. Looks like he wants to take a trading post. Going to be a little bit delayed before he's actually able to get it up. No scouting whatsoever. If I was him, I would definitely be on top of these native trading posts because I would love to be knowing what's going to be going on with the Explorer for A's. Definitely a little bit curious. Now taking the 80 coin treasure in the north of the map. still macroing towards that trading post. It feels so terrible when you're playing China. You're at 4 minutes into the game and it's like my age up's halfway through. I don't even have my trading post down yet. Meanwhile, Aizamk got that age up, not only in queue, he's about to pop it. His Tambo is going down. We're going to see him send, so you can use the Tambo as a shipment point. So with the shipment point, you're going to be able to bring in your two war hut wagons or travois from the age up with the chief. Look at the macro he's going for. Very clearly going to be getting in that big button as well, I would suspect. So now we see the builder travois coming in. First card is the 6 Chimmy runners sent, followed by the Inca scouting party. And now we've got the first war hut going down. The second Tambo or travois is going to be going up to the Sufi mosque here in the north. We're now going to have those... Here they come. The 5 plumed spearmen that are going to be moving in. They're probably going to be taking down a castle. Mitoe dropping down an early castle just when you thought that this was going to be a trading post. He did actually scout the Tambo. He is going to be dropping down a castle. This is equivalent to an outpost. It's got a lot more hit points though. 200 or 2,000 hit points for an outpost. 3,000 for a Chinese castle. So really nice, nice, I guess I would say flex. But not flex in the traditional sense, like, haha, nice flex, bro. But, like, this is, like, a really flexible thing that Mitoe's managed to do. Almost, that castle losing a fair bit of health, about 400 health, but now going to be in a great position. Going to have the Explorer under here, Wang Lang, going to be putting out a lot of damage. At this point, I would definitely be pulling back. I wouldn't be satisfied that I could maintain the DPS that's going to come out here. But I guess, I don't know what the limit is for A's. We now see the Rattan Shields coming in as well. Training Rattan Shields from the home city, or from the Tambo, rather. This is still going down. We've got... Okay, I think he's now decided to ignore it. We've got the 6 Chimmy runners, as well as the Rattan Shield. Rattan Shield having a huge amount of HP. 222 HP versus the 140 of the Chimmy runner. The Explorer now going down. Wang Lang has passed away, but I'm sure he will be back. Have no fear. The Rattans are really impressive. God, they've got so much health. 16 attack as well. If we take a look at the Chimmy, Chimmy got 20 attack. They do have that 2 times multiplier. Now sentries being called on the front line. Have we got those 9? We've got the 9 Kyung pikemen on the way. The irregulars also being called behind this. So Mitoe doing his best to hold on. Really holding on. He's strapped himself in and he's just said at this point, he's got 10 villagers in the town center. Everybody else is gathering. The 9 Kyung pikemen coming in now. These should be able to hold. He wants to make sure he doesn't lose this castle. This castle's down to 400 hit points. The town center needs to be focusing down. We've only got, to be honest, we've only got the Chasqui and the Explorer here that are doing it, but I think this is going to go down nonetheless. But at what cost? Ace is going to be able to take this down, but it's just a castle. It's not like, it's not a super important piece of infrastructure. It's not something that you really need to be committing that much to. And I definitely say, just from this point, Mitoe is massively ahead. He hasn't lost a lot of villages. He's managed to, okay, sure, he lost a castle. He's completely neutralized this early aggression. Completely. Absolutely neutralized it 100%. And now we've got the Plume Spearman that's being chased away by the Kyung pikemen. Now we've got native treaties coming in. Let's go for round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Round 2, here we go. We've got the war elephants on the front. So these come in from the native treaties card that we've got here. Native treaties. You get a shipment of native warriors from a different allied tribe, as well as any tribes that you're already allied with. Now he is allied with the Sufi, as well as with the is it the Shaolin? So he's going to be able to get extra units in. These guys look like they look like what are they? They look like Mahouts, but they're not. They're nowhere near as good, but they're pretty cool. And now we see a cute little wall going up from Mitoe, putting down these nice quick walls just to prevent any sort of damage that could potentially come out onto the CKN. CKN now going to be exchanging probably with the bows. Do we see it? We don't see it. Down to 3 pikemen. Got to be careful. Getting some damage out onto that war elephant. We'll take a look at A's. A's isn't really doing much other than he now at this point he's massing jungle bowmen. He's lost a couple. He's down to 9 jungle bowmen, and the 7 step riders have now been called from Mitoe. So Mitoe sent 1, 2, 3 unit shipments in from the home city, really going as many units as he can in the early game. No trading post, really just holding on for dear life at this point, trying his best to just keep his head above water, and I think he's managed to do it, to be honest. He's got plenty of population space. One of the great things about opening up with 3 villages, which is what Mitoe did in this game, you've got so much population space. Now, keep in mind, his fat stack of yaks is whittled down to 5, but these guys do fatten quite fast, up to 300 food now, so they're almost going to be at 400. He's probably going to be able to eat those within the next 90 seconds, and when he does, he's going to see a significant boost to his economy, whether he wants to go to the 3rd age with that. I think at this point, he definitely could. He has held. He's managed to hold. I'm satisfied at this point that he's got quite a decent lead. We've got, you know, no real canchers in the back of this. I would say that A's was quite all in on this, to be honest. I'm going to take, just while we've got a lull in the action, I'm going to take a swig off my Red Bull. I'd encourage you guys, if you've got a drink sitting there on your desk or sitting next to you, if you're watching this on the couch, pick up that drink, grab it up, give it a bit of a slurp. I'm going to do the same thing. Give me a moment. There we go. War Chief now coming back up. 147 hit points. Going to be taking out Wang Lang again. For the second time this game, Wang Lang goes down. But he'll be back, don't worry. Indeed, my friend, indeed. It sounds painful, but I'm sure it is only a flesh wound, as Ace said. Alright. Now we've got no real action coming out. I mean, at this point, we take a look. We've got the consulate that's being dropped down for Mitoe, so I suspect we're probably going to see an allegiance with the British consulate here. We've now got the jungle bowmen that are slowly sieging down the Summer Palace. I don't know if this is intentional or not. I suspect it may be an oversight from A's. Definitely an oversight from A's at this point. Not bringing his units up. Not a lot of siege on the jungle bowman. 8 siege as well. Only using his canchers for housing space, not using them to boom at all. Now we've got the plume spearmen that are coming in as well. Decent mass, 10 plume spearmen. This is quite significant. And a fair amount of Rattan shields. Is that at max? How do you see the max? 16 max. Okay, so he's going max Rattan shields. That's how good they are. Alright, now, for anybody unfamiliar with the way that the mechanics of the Incans work, the Rattan shields get a bonus from the Explorer. So the Explorer increases the hit points of native warriors. And that's what makes this so strong. Because they're getting a huge bonus. I think it's about, what is that, 20%? It looks to be 20% health bonus. So massive bonus to their hit points. That is a huge bonus now that I think about it. That is massive. So really a bit of a fight breaking out here. Some villagers on the front line look like they're going to get taken out. Second villager going down here as well. Third villager may potentially be going down, but he's doing a lot of damage on these vills. But you got to keep in mind, he's not doing damage on the army. We've got a war elephant in the back, going to be putting down some DPS on these Chokunu. The Chokunu also in the front line, fighting up with the pikes. Definitely a bit of a scaffle. It's hard to see, just with so many teal and blue units, which one is pulling ahead. But I would suspect at this point, it looks like A's is going to be pulling ahead ever so slightly. He's got 13 Rattan shields now. 10 Rattan shields, slowly going down. I take that back. It's definitely Mitoe. There's a lot of teal in here. And Mitoe being able to hold quite significantly. Now, how many villages were actually lost by A's? I suspect there was... we saw at least 2 villages go down. Now sending in the standard army hit points as well. That's an extra 20% going to be going in for the CKN as well as the Step Rider. British Expeditionary Company. Coming in off the back of this. Just your standard musketeer. A little bit more attack. A little bit more health. Nothing too crazy. Aizamk sending in the 700 from the home city. Interestingly still, no canchers going up. Still only 6 canchers. Actually dropping down a double cancher at this point. So did he potentially send... I don't think he sent 600 wood. Or if he did, we may have missed it. Whoa. Do you guys hear the thunder? Wow, I've never heard that before. Did they change that in the home city? They must have changed that in the home city. I've never heard that before. That was awesome. That was awesome. Get the water. Does anybody know that? Please tell me you guys know what that reference is. Get the water. Get the water. That was awesome. I've never seen that before. Wow. Okay, that was really cool. We've got a huge mass now for Mitoe. Mitoe's pulled ahead massively by about 1,600 points. Let's take a look. I want to see the Chinese home city. It's raining here. Oh, the thunder's from the Chinese home city. Okay. It's all making sense. His deck's actually called How Not to Play. I like that his deck is called How Not to Play. Really demonstrating that he cares a lot about, you know... Oh, that thunder is awesome. They did a great job with that thunder. That sounds really, really good. So Mitoe definitely pulling ahead here. Significant mass for him, playing the H2 China. I love the villages that he's got out here. You know, they're not particularly, like, that far away spaced, but they really enable him, like, right here. This is just so cheeky. His opponent coming in to do a raid, and just he's like, yeah, no, I'm not too fussed. Yes. Now calling out the second batch of red coats, going to be able to chase these Rattans away. But I love the fact that he doesn't have to walk. You know, just building the village right here. It kind of reminds me of an old game that I used to play. You'd build your buildings in a block style like this. It kind of looks like he's got one block here, and another block here, and then a block over here. You know, he's got a block down here. It's kind of like a city, like you walk through. Like here's the main thoroughfare going through like that. We've got a bit of a push now happening on the front line. Ace's base. He's calling in Kurare. It's not going to be able to affect too many units. He's got, where are your units? Ace choosing the wrong time to cancer boom at this point. Also putting down some more war huts at the back on the back line. We've got the second war hut that is about to go up. But where is the army for Ace? He's got a whole bunch of score, but no army at all. Ace, you're going to have to make units here. And it looks like the 5 jungle bowmen are going to be managing to push off the army. Unfortunately, no, it doesn't seem like it. Now we've got the second war hut that has gone up. But my fear is that even though this second war hut has come up, that it's not actually going to be able to produce any units. It's going to go down before it can even do this. We've now got a circle siege happening. A's doing or Mitoe rather, doing the classic circle siege. Let's see if he's able to get this. There's no way this batch is going to be able to come down in time. And I think this is going to be a really difficult spot for A's. A's stacking up 1,000 food in the bank. War hut going down behind the base. Some rat and shields on the back line. We can't, for whatever reason, like the Shaolin Temple is bugged. You can't actually see it on the minimap anymore. I think it's just a perspective bug because he's lost that trading post, I suspect. Now losing some of the Kancha houses. Kancha house is only 0.6 food a second. Hasn't sent in that Kancha brewing, or Chicha brewing rather. Going to be losing the next 2, so potentially going to be housed with this. I think he might just be okay. But villagers getting called in from the musketeers. A couple of rat and shields coming out to help defend them. But Mitoe just leaving the step riders out over here. Rat and Shield's now going to be able to fight toe-to-toe with them there. It's actually quite an even battle between these two. It's interesting to see that the Rat and Shields are so close in stats to the Step Riders. Now the second, actually it's the third Kancha that's going down. And I feel like at this time, we're just waiting to see the inevitable death of Aizamk. Dropping down a couple more Kancha houses. He's got, in the back we've got 2 war hunts. Putting down 2 batches of Chimney Runners, but not going to be able to get too many of them out. Villagers up here on the top side. This is his only food source available. He does have berry bushes in the front, but very, very difficult to gather from those with so many ranged units from his opponent. And now we see we've got the 9 jungle bowmen on the back line. I wouldn't even bother commentating at this point. It's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I wonder what's going to happen here. Well, no, I don't really wonder what's going to happen here. You've got 1,000 units against 2. And unfortunately, a lot of those units are villagers for Mitoe, or for A's, and the good game is called Mitoe winning. So Mitoe winning with Inca. Now, Inca are a 3-point civilization. So on this map especially, oh sorry, I apologize. Mitoe winning with the Chinese. Now the Chinese are a 3-point civilization. The Inca are also a 3-point civilization. Let's go take a look and see. That puts Mitoe up to match point.